Hi, thanks for joining me today. Is your partner parenting their child to be spoilt and entitled, and you don't know what to do about it? Subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, and I'll let you know every time I post. What can happen is that a parent can feel that they have really let their child down by what's happened in the past. And this can carry through to the way they treat them now. So, in order to make up for whatever has gone on in the past, a parent can choose to treat their children differently as a result. And that can take many forms, but it can mean that the child is indulged, or the child can do no wrong, or the child is spoilt, or the child is prioritized. And often this comes as a great surprise and shock to the step-parent, because the step-parent feels this will be a normal situation where a child is treated well, but like a child, and they're not. They're treated and indulged to make up for what has gone on in the past. Now, that sort of gives the child a difficulty and no limits and no boundaries. And then the child can become quite difficult and demanding and misbehave, and still nothing happens. And when there's no pushback to a child when they get things wrong, they often can't go through the process of evaluating what they should and shouldn't be doing, what's a nice thing to do, what's a nasty thing to do, what is a selfish thing to do, what is not a selfish thing to do. And the thing can go quite badly out of control. But this can be tolerated by the parent a lot. The child can go out of control. And this is very difficult if you're the step-parent. So what should you do if you're in a step-parent in this situation? Well, we all need boundaries. Even adults have to abide by the laws of the country and the rules of society. And so to give a child an idea that they don't have to abide by boundaries leads to trouble. So as a step-parent in a step-family where you're finding that the child is being indulged by their parent, and you approach the parent about this, and they get defensive or tell you that's what they want to do, or they want to make up to this child for what's happened in the past, then that doesn't leave you too many other places to go than to back off and step away from being caught in the crossfire. Because if you step in and try and provide some boundaries for the child or guide them in any way, you may come across a situation where the child will say, "You're not my mum, you're not my dad," or the parent themselves may say, "No, my child is allowed to do anything they want," or whatever. So you put yourself in the crossfire by attempting to create boundaries for the child in these circumstances. Your best bet is to withdraw and to let the parent their child. That might mean you're around less when the child is there, or you say nothing when the parent is overindulging the child. You allow the parent to parent their child, and you don't get in the middle. If you have the child on your own to manage, then it is more possible to have a sort of meeting where you can explain your expectations for a particular time or thing or the way things are done, and then work towards rewarding the child for keeping to your expectations and reminding the child that they're not allowed to do certain things in your watch. And you can get some way towards keeping a boundary at that point. But really, you're not the parent, and you're not in a position to insist on anything. So let the parent take the full negative brunt of their parenting choices, and those will come. If the parent doesn't set boundaries, doesn't expect anything from the child can behave badly, then that's going to come out at some time during the future. And the main thing is to let the parent know the consequences of their parenting choices and let the parent suffer, if you like, for the choices they've made. Don't rescue them. If something goes wrong, the parent needs to deal with it. If an apology needs to be made, the parent needs to deal with it. If a mess needs to be cleared up, the parent needs to deal with it. Don't rescue the parent from their parenting choices. The parent needs to know the effect of what they're doing. And for that, you need to stand aside and make sure that you're not blamed for something that's going wrong between the two of them. Sometimes the situations are impossible and you need to get out of the situation completely. Go out for the afternoon, leave, don't accompany them to things. Step back and keep out of the way. I feel this kind of thing is very difficult because actually the person who suffers most in this situation is the child themselves, who doesn't learn how to behave well, gets into trouble elsewhere, like places at school because of it, don't get on with friends as well as they could do because they upset people, don't know how to behave, don't know how to be polite, don't know how to make the right choice for themselves. And it can be a disadvantage for a long time going forward. So it's very difficult to see a spoiled, entitled child growing up in this way. Then look for opportunities to have a discussion with your partner about the effects of their parenting. And this might be totally unrelated to their child or the family. It may be stuff that's happening in the press or in the news or in the locality or amongst your friends and neighbours. There can be examples of where things went wrong and the child misbehaved and this happened, or some child began to take drugs and it was because of this or because of that, or I don't know. There are lots of life stories that you can use to show your partner the effects of what happens if a child is overindulged, and make the most of those, but also make the most of any opportunity you have where the child has shown how, by being overindulged, things went wrong and mistakes were made and things had to be corrected. Just without being sort of too overtly critical of your partner, just be there pointing this kind of thing out in the nicest possible way. Meanwhile, If possible, and sometimes spoilt children it's not possible, build as independent a relationship as you can with your stepchild. Don't forget you're the bonus parent and you've got quite a big job in this circumstance, because actually you can be doing your stepchild a lot of favours by providing them with some kind of measure by which they can sort of work out what they should and shouldn't do, or how they should behave, etc. So try and build an independent relationship with your stepchild, and so be able to not be totally negative about your stepchild to your partner. So talk to your partner about what you do like about your stepchild. And the reason why you do that is because when the parent gets totally exasperated with their child for being so badly behaved, they may come to you and say, what do you think I should do? Look, I've tried this, and I've tried to be nice, and I've given them this, and I've taken them here, I've funded them for this, I've bought them the other, and they're still not doing this. And then if they come to you, you then have an opportunity to discuss it with them and discuss what the alternatives to spoiling their child can be. It's delicate, but it's a job worth doing if you can, because the child themselves is the one that's going to suffer. So it's worth doing. And it's no good spoiling a child. And it's no good making a child feel totally entitled. It's no good. So, first step is to step away. Don't get in the middle. Let the parent parent their child. Don't rescue the parent from their overindulgent choices. Build a relationship with your stepchild as far as you can, independently, so you can talk positively about your stepchild to their parent. And so when things go wrong between the parent and the child, and they will, the child will keep on going until they exasperate their parent. Then when the parent comes to you, you can work on the problem together and you haven't ostracized yourself. The secret is to not get in the flack, not get in the middle between the parent and the child when things are going wrong, but be there for your partner when they get totally exasperated by what's going on. Maybe this is all too much. It's not in your role. You don't have to do it. And maybe you'll never get there. The child will become entitled and spoilt and grow up and grow on out and remain being entitled and spoilt, and you'll never get the chance to put it right. But it is worth just hanging on to the idea that you can be the bonus parent here. But it's difficult. We run workshops, sessions, an email response service, and we write booklets. Look in the description box below for links to our social media and website.